mission is crucial, which is why Larry Korb and I wrote this report. We believe that it's actually a national security imperative for the United States, and whether or not you agree with that, we believe that the Taliban which is working with Al Qaeda, this is really where the core leadership is in the border areas of Afghanistan and Pakistan, and they directly want to threaten they threaten and want to attack the U.S. And those opium revenues are funding the Afghan insurgency and therefore fund our enemies, and we believe it's a situation that we need to confront. The other issue, and we saw what happened with September 11th, that the Taliban in Afghanistan harbored Al Qaeda, and they did get us, and that could happen again, we believe. The other issue is that this is not just the U.S. in there. There are 38 other countries, as well as other international institutions that are working with the United States. This is not a unilateral U.S. mission, and the Afghan population, as evidenced by the polling, wants an international presence there. So I don't see it as an imperial power, imperial invasion. I see it as a collaborative effort with the Afghan people, trying to get that state up and running to serve its people, but also to help U.S. security interests.
One other point from your report is we look at President Karzai of Afghanistan. From July of this year, the Afghan National Police training just over 71,000 to help secure the area, but you point out that there's a huge disparity between those in Kabul and those in the more rural areas, and also a general distrust, using your words, by the Afghan people toward the police.
There's a huge problem with the Afghan National Police. They're often more feared than trusted, especially in areas outside of Kabul, and it's a huge problem. Right now there are efforts underway by the United States and Europe to try to get the police force to be cleaner, more competent, more helpful in the situation, and there have been a number of problems in the training and in the vetting of these police, and it's got to be a long-term effort to get this force in order.
And this photograph from the capital city, two Afghan women in their traditional burqas. Lancaster, Ohio is next. Democrats line for Caroline Wadhams. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Christina. I'm not very knowledgeable too much on the drug habit here in the world, but as far as money is concerned, I just want to ask you a question. What would happen to the world if they legalized all the drugs and everything around us, everything they grow?
It's a really interesting question, and it's been one of those issues that no politician, no U.S. leader wants to touch. Annette Rubin is one of the most preeminent Afghan experts in this country, and has talked a lot about the drug trade, and I think he often characterizes it right. He says basically that you have to, the way that we try to combat the drug trade generally is totally counterproductive. That you have to really start going after the demand, or you have to go for other proposals rather than always trying to go after the supply. Now, in Afghanistan, the way that we put forward our recommendations, we're trying to work within a realistic framework, understanding what the political dynamics of the United States is and of what the situation is, which is that we have to work within the framework that's out there, which means that we still have to start thinking about targeting the supply. That all of our efforts in our Afghanistan report can't be on the demand. It's probably not very politically feasible right now.
Last call with about a minute left. Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Good morning.
Thank you for C-SPAN. Excellent program. I've been listening to the opium effect. However, oil is what is driving us in Iraq, and I think why Afghanistan has been ignored is lack of oil. I mean, the real threat is Pakistan, but Pakistan has no oil. This drumbeat to go into Iran for Iran's oil it's so obvious. Why aren't we hearing more of it? Afghanistan was the correct thing if we were really after terror, and all your points are valid. However, the chicken hawks, that we have, care more about oil. And if I give the benefit of the doubt, and I think they're looking short term because we are in an oil-based economy, that they think it's the right thing.
I'm going to stop you on that point. Thank you from New Jersey.
I think that there are a lot of reasons. I think oil definitely is one driver for why this country has been consumed by Iraq. And I think this administration has always conflated Iraq with September 11th and drawn the country's attention consistently to Iraq. And I mean, Larry Corbett, I make the point that, I mean, if you're going to talk about any central front in the war on terror, if you agree with that terminology at all or not, you've really got to focus on the borderlands of Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is really where you have your central leadership of Al-Qaeda based, and you have to refocus your efforts. Afghanistan has been largely off the map, and we as a country, I believe, need to really get refocused and reengaged.
The report is called The Forgotten Front by Caroline Wadhams, who focuses on national security issues for the Center for American Progress. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Come back again.
Yeah, thanks.
Tomorrow morning on C-SPAN.